Welcome to another episode of My Brother's Video Podcast. I am the host, Eric the Fact Checker. That's F-A-C-T, not F-A-T. I got to make sure to get that out. As you know, Eric is not my first name. Eric is my middle name. And here on My Brother's Video Podcast, we go by middle names only. I am here with my brothers, and today we're going to be talking about colon cancer in the Black community. We were going to talk about black on black crime, but given how heavy colon cancer, the topic of colon cancer can be, we're going to just use this episode as an opportunity to discuss colon cancer and talk about black on black crime during our next episode, episode number 3. So before we get started, I want to talk to each of my brothers, see how everybody's doing. It's been a long weekend. I want to do a quick check-in, and so we're going to start on the East Coast. I'm going to check in real quick from my left to my right, from an East Coast perspective. Mr. Old Soul, how you doing, baby?
Good. This is Edwin, Old Soul, having a good time here, just chilling, had a great weekend, doing well.
Cool.
Doing well.
Cool. Hey, Herb the Baller, what's up, man? You do anything this weekend?
Man, I just had some good time, crabs with the family, and just enjoyed my weekend. You know, that's what I do.
Hey, I saw those blue crabs, bro. Let me tell you something. I told you, I responded. I said I ain't had them for about 5 years ago, and I'm telling you, I used to love them, man. They're a lot of work right now. They're a lot of work, especially after
No. Get the large ones. That's not a lot of work.
There you go.
I don't play those small crabs.
All right. Hey, we're gonna roll on over to the preacher with the gun. What's up, Donald?
Hey, what's up? What's up, fellas? How y'all doing? Had a good weekend. Back in the gym on Saturday with my girls. Word. And then had a coaches meeting, and wifey texted me like, "Where you at?" "I'm in the gym, babe." "That's all you need to know. I'll get at you when I get back." That's it. Done deal.
Cool.
So everything was great. And my church is reopened too. So second service back in the building.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, were you strapping?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Bear crap in the woods.
I'll just check it out. Hey, moving on to my man, Big Doc. What's up, Wade?
What's up, fellas? How y'all feeling today? Had a great weekend. Finished out real good. Work was fine. No complaints. I'm here talking to my brothers right now.
Hey, San Fran win this weekend, bro? Did they play?
Now you disrespecting.
No, I'm sorry. I ain't got no TV. I'm an Eagles fan, bro.
Now you're disrespecting.
My bad. Okay, we're gonna pass. We're gonna go beyond that.
Yes.
Listen.
Thank you.
Okay, my bad. Hey, we gonna go to the crooner. What is up, Mr. Crooner?
What's happening, y'all? This is me, Leon the Crooner, y'all. I had a great weekend, Had some unsteady news. A couple of people died from the COVID, man, but
Wow.
That's life, man. Gotta keep on being safe and everything,
Yes, sir.
That shit is real, bro.
Yep.
It's
like
real,
Leon. He keep it positive.
He keep it positive. Come on, man. Hey, listen. So last but not the least is we're gonna talk to the Marina Comedy. What is up, Eugene?
Hey, brothers, how's everybody doing, man? I had a good weekend. I actually did comedy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Word.
So I was in what was that Friday? Hemet, California. Hey, man, don't be disrespectful.
Hey, how many black folk was out there in Hemet?
Ooh, ton of them.
Me and the other comedian. I thought I was in Utah for a second. But no, I did Hemet that night, then I did Moreno Valley Saturday, and then LA last night. But everybody is practicing social distancing, and which is cool. And I told them, except, you notice that more black people are getting COVID than other races of people. Have you noticed that? Because
67%.
You know why? Because we're not respecting the distance. And somebody asked me, said, "Kevin, if you could tell them how to get black people to respect the 6 feet," I said, "It's easy. Just loan them some money." People saying we years, you know what I'm saying? Am I right, Doc? Am I right? Just loan them some money.
That's why they call them the Marina Comedy people. Listen, hey, when we go and leave, man, when we close out the show, bro, maybe you can give a shout out if you got any upcoming shows coming up. Just shout that out. Cool?
Sure.
Cool. So listen, hey, let's jump into this topic, fellas. It is a heavy topic, colon cancer, and actually we really probably should be referring to it as colorectal cancer, cancer of the colon and cancer of the rectum. And let me also say that, listen, everybody, we are not doctors, okay? We are not doctors, so we just talking about our experiences. I obviously done some research and would like to share some information with you as well. But before we get into it, I think what's important is to talk about, like, how did it really come to the limelight, right? Because I'm 52, and I actually have a colonoscopy scheduled for tomorrow.
Okay.
Brother struggling, right? Because you gotta prep for that, and it ain't nothing but liquids and no food, and I'm missing my food. So, but how did it come to the limelight? And I want to talk about that. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, he died of a colon cancer, bro. And so, he was born in November 29th of 76 and died this past August 28th, and he was only 43 years old.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Well, you got to understand that colon cancer happens in the later part of our lives, supposedly. But unfortunately, this man was 43, and that's young for us.
Right.
We could say 43 is young, so it has supposed to start in a latter part of our life, but then there are signs stating things, and we may ignore it.
Right.
As a healthy man, I'm going to ignore certain things. All right, my stomach's hurting, or I did extra bowel movement. Okay, I must have ate something that didn't agree with me.
Right.
And sometimes I'm not going to turn around and look at my stool to see what color it is.
So why is that? But why is that big? Like, why is that?
I mean, that's a good question, because I don't want to say it's far from an ego thing. It's just like, all right, I might have ate something that didn't agree with me, and I'm not gonna say if it runs out of me, I'm not gonna turn around and look at my stool. Actually, the only person that told me to look at my stool when I was younger was my mother.
Right.
You know what?
Eric, go ahead.
It's, once you go through something, man, I tell you right now, you pay attention to all the signs,
Right.
Because I had a couple of friends that I told them, I was surprised they were 60 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have the exam. I said, what's wrong with you, man?
Right.
This is serious. And then my brother said, well, I go regularly. I said, that don't mean nothing. Just because you go regularly, that don't mean a thing. You need to get checked out. And now they even moved it to 45 for black men.
Mm-hmm.
So I can speak from a different perspective, right? So, Herbert touched on the subject about it not being an ego thing, but as a black man, it's definitely an ego thing, right? Number one, we believe that we're superheroes. We believe that there's nothing that really will affect us and would affect someone else. I had my first colonoscopy when I was 38, and the reason why is because I was having bloody stools.
Wow.
And I didn't know what was going on, right? I mean, you heard people tell you, oh, it's this, hemorrhoids, it's that, you go get this checked out, you go get that checked out. And all of them kept giving, it was a mixture of different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, and for my comfort level, I had to go and get it completely checked out. Right. And I actually got a video of the colonoscopy. Like, they gave me the video. I could actually come home and watch the camera going through my intestines. So from a personal standpoint, me personally, I ain't think that was ever going to befall me. No one in my family has ever, none of the men in my family had any prostate issues or any colon issues or any cancer issues. Most of the folks in my family, diabetes, high blood pressure. Right. So the cancer thing wasn't even something that I even considered. But when this happened, and I mean, it was going on for about a 6-month period, where when I would get up, it would be blood in the commode. Right. And so all the over-the-counter nonsense, the preparation H and all that stuff, I went to go see that. I had to go get it checked out. So this topic hits home personally. Yeah. I thank the Lord that it was nothing. I didn't have any, I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but I didn't have any, it was nothing major. It was something that I can control. And believe it or not, it was spicy food.
Wow.
My abundance for spicy food.
Hey, Eric.
So,
yep.
let me say, man, what happened to me, I think one of our problems is not just our pride, is the education of it. Is being ignorant about it. I didn't really know that I should have got a prostate exam, to be honest.
Right.
I had no idea. It happened to me. I actually went to get checked for carpal tunnel.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's how I ended up getting scheduled for that. But
Right.
I had went and they said, have you ever gotten, I told them, honestly, I didn't even know I should have got that. But here's something tricky about it that's different now. You can even ask for it, they won't give it to you. Like when I go to the VA and I asked them to give me that, they said, no, you don't have any signs that you need it.
Oh,
so
God.
they checked me and they won't even remember we used to just have to get it.
Right.
Now at the VA, unless you have signs of it, they won't even test you for it.
Yeah, see, even
if you ask, and I asked, and I got the prostate thing done, right? And thank God I did. But the education is the key, and being able, once you get the education, to share. We got to share with more of us to understand it. See, a lot of us, we're talking, and there's people out there right now have no idea what we talk about.
Yeah.
And they should get checked. They don't understand when they should get checked. Like you said, the numbers moved. It's 45 now. Before it was 50 and above.
Right.
They would not check you at 45 unless you show a sign that there's something wrong.
Yeah. Let me. So I want to talk about that real quick. I'm gonna two things, and I don't want to forget this. Okay, Eugene, is that you said you asked the VA,
yes,
and they're like, no, you don't need it. That's an issue, right? Like, that's something that needs to be addressed. I don't know the answer to that question, right? But it's something to explore. That's number one. But let me go in and share some facts first, and then we're going to come back, because I know we tossing a lot of numbers around. Let me share some facts. I'm going to give you all some overall facts. And, maybe, towards the end, we can maybe close out on a highlight Chad Boseman and his shows and stories, et cetera, right? So I did some research, and I looked at two sources, right? So the first was the American Society for Gastrointestinal Endoscopy. This is a publication in 2013, but yet still very relevant and really focused on African Americans, okay? And then I went to the American Cancer Society, and they did a consensus of the overall population. And they did, so the information I'm providing you is kind of a culmination of the two, but I want to share this here. According to the American Cancer Society, they estimate that there will be 147,950 people, both men and women, and that's overall, not just African American, everyone, who will have colon cancer or colorectal cancer. Okay, they estimate from that breakdown that 104,000 will have colon cancer and another 43,000 will have rectum cancer, and of that, 53,000 people will pass away. And so what they say is, when combining both men and women together, colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in men and women overall. Now, this is just overall, right? And so to your points earlier, who are at risk, Herbert mentioned, look, people who are older. Yep. So 80% of cancers in the U.S. are diagnosed in people 55 years or older. And there are certain behaviors, and I want to focus on the behaviors because listen to these behaviors that increase the risks, and think about us as African Americans as related to these behaviors. So certain behaviors increase risk: excessive body weight. So you got diets with starchy foods, refined carbohydrates, sugary drinks, physical inactivity, long-term smoking, heavy alcohol consumption, high consumption of red or processed meats, very low intake of fruits and vegetables and whole grain fiber, and a family history of colorectal cancer. And so if you think about that, just think about us as African Americans, and, you think about a portion of us being in a lower socioeconomic class, right? I mean, that causes challenges. But to be specific, when we focus on African Americans, this is what it says. Colorectal cancer is the third most common cancer among us African Americans. The rate of being diagnosed with colorectal cancer is higher among us than any other population in the United States. We are 17% more likely than non-Hispanic whites to get colorectal cancer. 17%.
Why is that, man? Eric?
It's our diet, man. It's our diet.
Diet,
Our
brother.
It's our diet. You have to actually understand that we were brought up on high fats. That until we got like, you know, my man just said, as far as till we got the knowledge of how our diets need to change. And we didn't catch this until, fortunately, some are in our 40s, some are in our 50s, until we realized we have to change our diets. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it stemmed from, our diets. Like Leon just said, our diets.
Donald, you was gonna say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to basically piggyback that. You hit on something earlier, and it's about economics.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we can talk about all the other things about not eating right and this, that, and the third, but it's more about economics and the lack of good quality health insurance. Black people per capita, we make up 13.1 to 13.3% of the population, and we have the worst healthcare system in America.
Right.
More than any other race. Now, I want you to do your numbers on that, fact checker. You'll see that in 2020, when they come out with our new census, we might be up to 14% of the population, but that's still disproportionate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fortunate that my wife works for the city and we have great health insurance, because
Right.
if I had to pay for it privately, I'm looking at $1,000 a month just for good quality health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And I know plenty of folks that's our age that don't have medical insurance. I know people right now that have diabetes that can't afford the diabetes medicine, and they have to figure out how to eat certain foods to help bring down their diabetes. So it comes back to this, just me, the have and the have-nots, bro. But this podcast right here, hopefully can help someone.
Yeah,
Let me chime in for a minute. You know what? You touched on something really, really well, because not just the code. I don't want to go off track, but Black men, for some reason, don't want to go to the doctor. You know, my wife tells me all the time, she say, "You are the weirdest Black man I ever met in my life." Because I got great medical. So I go, if I got a hangnail, I'm going to the doctor. Hey, what's
Preach. That's
this?
me. Preach.
It's been a week. This thing ain't gone away yet. Hey, doc. You know, so, but we don't, man. I don't know why we don't. It might be because we can't afford to go. I never thought about that. And I thought we didn't go because we were afraid to go.
Well, so I think there's a combination for sure, right? We definitely can't afford to go. Our pride, right? Us as a people, you know, our pride are factors, man. And all those things, there's no one specific thing that increases our chances, right? It's definitely diet, right? It's definitely not having the appropriate insurance. It's our own pride that gets in the way, right? There are a number of factors. But I think ultimately the goal is just being knowledgeable to what the baller said, being knowledgeable about colorectal cancer and how you can prevent it. Let me add a few more stats here. We are more likely to be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in advanced stages when there are fewer treatment options available, and we are less likely to live 5 or more years after being diagnosed. And think about that, like, I believe Chadwick Boseman had it for like 4 years or so, and he's been fighting that battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The question is, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry, brother. The question is, if he wasn't a millionaire, would he have gotten 4 years?
Yeah.
Would he have been? See, my manager, he had pancreatic cancer. He had money.
Right.
They gave him 6 months. He lasted 19 months.
Wow.
Because he had money, because he could afford these treatments that the average guy like you and me couldn't afford. You don't shop at Whole Foods. Most of the people in Philadelphia, they still shop at Save-A-Lot.
Yeah.
They don't go to Whole Foods to get organic vegetables. You don't know what they're spraying on these vegetables, if we even eat vegetables, because I don't eat vegetables.
Yeah.
But I take 22 vitamin supplements a day because I don't eat vegetables.
Well, you better get them vegetables in there, though, bro. I'm just all I'm saying.
Can I just chime in one more time? This is the Chad Bowman thing. This is not going to be a popular position I'm taking.
Yeah.
But when I heard he had it for 4 years, I got a little upset.
Why is that, man?
With him being the mega star he was, if he would have came out in the beginning, he probably could have saved a lot of lives. But since he waited to go through his thing, think about all the people, because people would have listened to him. You know,
So you saying he was being selfish?
I'm not gonna say this. I just say he was being negligent.
I'll say it.
That's
How
a
about
fine.
the pride?
I'm sorry. And I know it's gonna be
No.
unpopular, but I just way I feel for the man. I enjoyed every movie he was in, but I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
what a difference he would have made if he would, if he would have said something earlier,
Yeah. So
Do you
He
think
had the platform. I'm sorry, Doc.
Definitely.
now he had the platform, fellas. So listen, we are not that individual. We don't know. I
Exactly.
mean,
We don't.
And when things hit you, bro, you never know what's going to happen. I hear your point. I hear your point, Leon. You just never know, man. And potentially he could have had that impact, but the fact is even now he still has that impact. The fact that we're doing this podcast right here and talking about him in the limelight, right, is bringing it, to our attention. So let me real quick. So death rates from colorectal cancer are higher among us than any other population group in the United States. We are 38% more likely, okay, than non-Hispanic whites to die from colorectal cancer. African American women have the same probability of getting colorectal cancer as men. And here's the beauty. There is evidence. There is evidence that African Americans are less likely than Caucasians to have screening tests for colorectal cancers. But the beauty is there is solutions, and that's early detection, right? Like my doctor didn't tell me about. I mean, I'm in Cali, and I went from United Healthcare to Kaiser, and Kaiser is very proactive. They're an HMO as opposed to the PPO I was with, but Kaiser is very proactive in your healthcare, and they're like, hey, listen, I asked for the colonoscopy, and they finally scheduled it. It was I'm saying they're proactive, but it was like 6 months later they finally got it on the schedule, but I asked for it, and it's important that to Eugene's point, you got to ask so you can get these early screenings, because African Americans, because of just family history, because of diets, because of lack of insurance, we got to get screened earlier. And the new recommendation for the American Cancer Association is 45 years old, right? It's 45 years old, but get it as early as you can, if you can, right? Because you just never know. And depending on depending on that first colonoscopy, that's going to determine whether or not you can be able, how often you'll need it. So I've been listening to a show, Sirius XM Radio, gentleman Clay Kane, and he was talking about how he went in and, when he got the original detection, the colonoscopy, he ended up coming back every 3 years because that's exactly what they wanted him to do. And so because I think he had family history. So I want to talk about potential solutions, fellas. Like what can we do from a solution perspective? What do you guys think?
Tell you what I think first is you got to look for the signs. And when you get the signs, you have to react. Because what I did with my diabetes, man, I was warned 4 years ago that I was pre-diabetic. I didn't know what pre-diabetic really meant, to be honest with you. I didn't change nothing about my life. I kind of made it like, when they told me I was pre-diabetic, Kenny G was playing the saxophone in the background. When I went back in later and I was full diabetic, Metallica was playing. You know what I'm saying? Everything changed. But by that time, it may be too late. I was good enough to reverse it. But a lot of people, if you wait 4 years for this, you may die. Right. So you have to look for those signs and immediately be proactive about it. Get the knowledge, be proactive. That's my suggestion. Get tested first of all.
So what are some signs? Rectal bleeding, as mentioned earlier, changes in stool color, changes in bowel habits. If you might have some pain down there, that might be a sign. Iron deficiency anemia, right? So they say, when do you see a doctor? Abdominal pain, blood in your stool, a change in your bowel habits. I mean, but think about those things, man. I've had abdominal pain just the last week or so, just from eating certain foods or whatever,
that's
right?
What I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying. If I have something bad to eat, I may get something. My stomach may feel a certain way. I may get diarrhea. That doesn't equate colon cancer or something is one of the symptoms. So us as black men, I didn't have some bad food, or I didn't have something that's been in my refrigerator, for 4 or 5 days. My wife would tell me, and I eat it, and I'm like, so that is it's a more educational thing that we need, even though these symptoms relate to other things.
Right.
You know, so that's where we kind of fall short, you know, as far as, you know, what could it be? Let me go to the doctor. And as, you know, the preacher with the gun said, we think we superheroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I'll be tomorrow and I'm gonna just take a dump and I'm gonna be cool. You know what I'm saying? But it could be more than just that. You know, and so that's why where we
definitely going to piggyback off of that. I'm sorry, Baller, but I'm definitely going to piggyback off of what Brother Leon said earlier. And I think it just comes down to just yearly, before you even get to the point of colonoscopies. I think as Black men, it just comes down to yearly checkups. Just going to the doctor yearly. I have yearly checkups, and my wife had to kind of talk me into that because I had the superhero mentality.
Right.
You know, I had that superhero mentality because I was so used to being the provider. That's what I saw my father doing. I saw my father would get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, even though my parents were separated and I worked, you know, I stayed with him on the weekends. My father would get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and he would get it, you know, he'd go to work. So in my mind, you know, I'm like, well, I don't need to go to the doctor. If they find something wrong, then I'm going to have to call out. So basically, my wife made the joke, said, okay, you drop dead if you want, insurance is paid for. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So she basically, it was a joke, but it was basically reminding me that we are not superheroes. You know what I mean? We are more, you know, we benefit more being here, helping our families healthy than being sick. So in order to do that, for me, I started going to a yearly checkup. And one of the things that Donald said earlier, you know, I dealt with a situation with bleeding, and I was just paranoid. I was just like, oh my goodness, I lost my father of prostate cancer. So I dealt with the kind of bleeding and stuff like that. And, you know, by the grace of God, I ended up finding out it was hemorrhoids. You know what I mean? You know, that was the first thing I went in there because cancer is kind of prevalent in my family, but not colorectal cancer. So once I got there and got everything done, they were like, no, you're fine. It's just, you know, it's just hemorrhoids of that nature. So, you know, my thing is when I go to my yearly checkup, my last yearly checkup, they gave me what they call a script. Okay. And that's when you take a bowel movement. It's kind of the precursor to getting a colorectal exam. So you get a script. So they check your bowel movement and they kind of let you know, okay, fine, you're good. We still recommend, you know, you get one, but as far as checking your stool, you're good and everything like that. So to put a closer on what I'm saying, yearly checkups, bro. Yearly checkups. Don't wait till something goes wrong. Just yearly checkups. Preventive. Be preventive.
So listen, real quick, fellas. We probably got like 3 minutes left, 2.5 minutes left. So real quick, we all over 50. I let me first state, I have never had a colonoscopy. I'm getting mine done tomorrow. I'm nervous as all get out. But at the same time, it is what it is, right? So, I'm curious.
It's not that. Go ahead. It's not that bad. I mean, once you take the juice and you drink the juice, you get somebody to drive you in there. They're gonna lay you on the table. You're gonna be looking at the screen. They're gonna tell you, we're gonna put you on table to put your knees up to your chest. And bro, whatever that sedative is, whatever it is, it's the best in the world.
Right.
You're gonna be out. They're gonna do the test, and bro, like, yo, I swear, 15, 20 minutes, they're gonna smack your ass, smack you in your butt, and tell you, okay, all right, get up, you're done, and they're gonna wheel you back to the waiting room. It's not as bad as you think it is.
And I'm sure you're going to smack for your butt again.
Well, no, because I already got mine done. I'm good. I gotta wait for 5 more years, but I got mine done at 50. So I got to wait till 55 and get it done again. And it's not as bad. The worst thing you have to do, dude, is drinking that juice. That's the worst thing about the process.
Donald, when did you
I'm
get
sorry.
yours done?
Well, like I said, I was 38, but the pre-screening that Carl talked about, they give you something, you check, you come, bring it home, they lay this paper down, you mail it in, and they take a test. And then they tell you if you know, and for me as a diabetic, I'm in the doctor every 3 months. I get my blood work done every 3 months, so I know where
that's good.
my blood levels are as far as the diabetes. So that, but what Doc is saying, what Wade is saying, is exactly what we all need to say
Yeah.
Like when the ball is out here playing basketball with his fellas, that's the conversation they gotta have. Yo, it's an uncomfortable conversation, but we all have to have it. I'm the oldest guy on my coaching staff. Everyone is in their early 30s, early 40s, but I can talk to them about my experience, and that's how we get the information out. Like he just said, it wasn't that bad. And it's a mindset, bro. It's a different. You gotta have a different mindset.
Got it. Well, listen, fellas, listen. My brothers, I love you guys very much. To all you out there watching this, listen, colorectal cancer is real. Go out and get yourself screened early as possible. If you have any signs, get yourself out there. Look into the link here of this video. I got the articles up on ASGE and the American Cancer Society. And there's also a woman who does a video. She's a UCLA doctor. She's African-American. Her name is Fola May. I'm gonna link her into the subscription as well, into the body as well, so you can see and check out her link. Her video is about 30 minutes. I strongly recommend you watch it. And listen, check us out next week. We will be talking about black on black crime, and we hope you can join us same time, same day, Monday, same time. That's 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share this video. And what can I say? Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. You know, this is in the light right now, and something that we should all check, you know, pay attention to. So, my brothers, I love you very much. We're gonna be signing off, and I'm out.
Great conversation, guys.
Deuces.
Be good, fellas.
Peace.
Good work, guys.
Good conversation, guys.